than what we see.
Now, so clean and everything.
It is very clean from that standpoint. Someone's taking care of it.
True, yeah.
I still think the light coming on would have been a nice touch to add to it.
Who the hell's been changing the light bulbs up there?
I don't know where they're getting light bulbs from. That's another discussion. But I think that this moment also has contoured lighting that I wish we'd had in the first film. When they're in that cave, there's at least some shadows and whatnot.
Right.
I think it would have been more powerful if it had been even more shadowed.
Yeah.
So that light really stood out and almost created like a beam. Because then what we're going to talk about tomorrow with Brent's comment, that could have even made sense.
Yeah.
When his rationale for all this.
For what it is.
And I guess I'm trying to anticipate his thoughts. I guess because there's a light on. And it's the first instance that's obviously electrical. It's very even. It's not flickering like a flame. It's an electrical light. Would we agree on that?
Yeah.
So something's happening to create power.
Well, okay, I would say this.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I would say that from this minute alone, looking at that light, I did not necessarily get the sense that it was electric. I thought maybe it's just light pouring in from somewhere. But the next minute, I feel like really, I'm like, okay, this is not.
I guess I thought it was electric because it's so even.
It's very yellow. Mm-hmm. It is. It does have that appearance when you first see it. Again, it's this partial ladder that's hanging down, going to this opening, and they'd come through a series of caves that, of course, didn't look like they'd been carved by New York City subway service people. But the ladder makes me think that that's what it's part of the subway system. But the stuff around it is no longer track. It's no longer bricked. It's just cave.
Yeah.
Which is really strange because at this point in the movie, we have humans that don't talk. We have apes that do talk. Who is coming out of this tunnel, down ladders, and then out of the subway system, out the cave to get out of there? What is the purpose of this entrance? I don't understand.
It's to lure people in.
That's actually a really, really good point. Now that I think about it, if we're going back to the Queensboro station, right?
Yeah.
And you've got the entrance of the cave that they took down to get in there. Why would there suddenly be an opening in the subway
halfway in a weird part of it? Yeah,
right. What purpose would this be to get back to that Queensboro station?
Okay, Sean doesn't know what's coming. Do you have any clue what's coming?
A little bit.
Okay, what do you think's coming?
I can tell you because we watched the trailer that there are going to be more people in there, and I think a nuclear bomb.
Okay,
but I don't understand what their hidey hole is, that they're living in the sewers, but they have this nice, or not sewer, subway, but they have this nice cave. Are they coming out of the tunnel into the Queensboro to climb up?
Why would they, unless there's a track that goes someplace else?
Yeah. So I think that's all a really interesting point because what is this whole...
I can tell you this, the next 3 movies, unless we watch a trailer, I know nothing about. Except for I know there's time travel involved in one of them, I think. Yeah.
So what is this whole... Is it meant to lure in...
The humans? The apes?
The unspeakable humans, the savages... Why would they want them if they were to do that?
If they're not smart, yeah.
I never really thought about that until right now. It's kind of like, what are they doing and why are they doing this?
Yeah, I mean...
Right.
Because this is obviously not a hole that they just all of a sudden said, hey, everybody go spit shine the tunnel down here.
Just in case.
Hey, put some new bulbs out, Sean,
Put the neon tubes
and
out.
make sure they're yellow lighting. I like yellow instead of blue.
I mean, if I'm just going based upon everything up to this point of the movie... Mm-hmm. I would not necessarily assume the hum was meant to lure them.
Okay.
Right? I would not. I would like, oh, they hear a hum, they're following it.
Never seen it.
Maybe
right. And again, up to this minute, not the next minute, this minute. But if we're just talking about this minute and I heard that hum and they were following it, I wouldn't think that it was being directional to pull them in.
Right.
But I would wonder why this hole was there to go where.
Yeah. Or to come from.
And I guess to Brent's ears, You've been in this wild Planet of the Apes where all you've heard are very natural horses and apes and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And suddenly you're down in the remnants of the world you're in before and you hear a hum. And so what do you think? Maybe a generator's going?
Yeah, something like that. Power.
I would think power, probably.
Which could have been really interesting again. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse with this, but with the light flicking on, that even accentuates the idea of a generator. My problem with Brent is that Brent isn't reacting the way I think somebody that is on a planet that is obviously his planet that's been
that knows
decimated.
It's Earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's been decimated by a nuclear explosion would react. I think if he heard boo, he'd go, it would be like, what is that? And then I know he's talking to someone who can't talk, but if he's going to comment on the action, I almost would rather him say something like, it almost sounds like a generator. No, it almost sounds like an electrical current. I wish he would say anything like that, because that would be the hope that maybe there's something there.
Or if they even change the tone to be the emergency broadcasting system tone.
Oh, that's a good
idea.
And
then he starts going, I know that. I know what the sound is. I used to fall asleep
to that every night now.
Because back in the 60s and 70s, they would
if they'd specifically use that sound, that would have been like, oh.
And that's so he starts going, I know that sound, and then he gets over there and he sees a monitor or something that's next to this tunnel and says,
it's a little similar to it, but it's not identical. If it were identical, I would have followed. I would have been like, what?
Well, they could have done anything. You think about that being the emergency broadcast signal, they could have also had in the home of the brave. If that had been in there, that would have even been something like, he's like, oh my God.
In that part of the movie would have been like, I gotta go.
I gotta find out what's going on. Yeah, at that point, it's kind of cool. They're playing with what he knows.
Yeah. I'm still curious. Still walking down these tunnels and following this hum. At this point, I was still like, where's he going? What's he gonna find? Right. But yeah, that would have been like the real kicker if it had been like the emergency broadcasting sound.
Sean, you win. That was a cool idea.
Yeah. Well,
it's your birthday, so you get to win.
When we remake Beneath Planet of the Apes, we'll make sure to do that.
So we're going to start a GoFundMe page, and if you'll put it out there.
Kickstarter it.
We'll do our fan film.
Which, by the way, I did find somebody today that's making prosthetics, the actual from design to look like the real film.
Uh-huh.
I swear, if we ever do a live version of this, the three of us have to wear the prosthetics.
Get those masks.
So who's going to be
Dr. Zayas?
I was about to say, who's going to be the gorilla? Who's going to be the chimp? Who's going to be the orangutan?
Well, you're the biggest of us, so you have to be a gorilla.
You have to be the gorilla.
And I get to be Cornelius. Or I'll be Zira.
There you go.
You can be Zira. Yeah.
Does that mean one of us gets to slap you around?
I'll just clap my hands a lot.
There you go.
All right, my friends. Anybody got anything else on that?
We surprisingly got farther in this minute than I think we thought originally.
Yeah, there's not a lot of action, and it feels like Beneath is going to have this theme again and again. I wish they had done this.
Yeah.
And I think I said this to you.
Missed opportunities.
I think I said this to you before we started, that it was a film that if they'd spent that much more time on it, could have been actually pretty good. I watched a lot of people comment the other day on a Facebook page I told the guys about, and that I'm a part of, where everybody talks about what they love. And this one person came in and said, I love Beneath. And I thought, oh God, please don't come here and don't hear us bitch about it. But at the same time, we're bitching about it because
there's so many missed opportunities.
And there's potential for it. And it's a cool idea that because the studio rushed it so much that they cut the budget.
And it's one of the things that you and I, and maybe Richard, I can't remember if we've talked about this before, but it's like with Star Wars, the prequels and stuff like that, it's one of those things where you wish the writer had written the script and then given it to a bunch of nerds to say, read the script and tell me what is wrong. And then, listen, you don't understand. Luke Skywalker should not be doing this and this and this.
But there's some truth to it. We all bitch about it now, and I think we're all sick of the geek culture where it just wants to bitch about everything. And that's not what we want to do, but instead this idea of here, how can you keep this idea exactly what you want it to be and what you could have done to flower it to make it work?
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to get at, correct?
Yes.
We all want to be happy.
Richard has glass eyes going, yes.
No. I'm still I'm kind of glancing at the script.
Well, that's minute 51. We started off on Monday singing Happy Birthday to Sean. We record these all in one day for the week.
Yep.
The day we're doing this is Sean's birthday. Happy birthday.
Are we going to have to sing happy birthday every day?
Are we going to seriously?
Is it your birthday week? We haven't cut into the cake yet.
I was about to say, my 15-year-old has a birthday week when she celebrates, so I guess my 46-year-old friend gets a birthday week too.
Yeah. I'm just like your daughter.
So we will treat Monday like we usually do at the beginning. We'll do at the end and say thank you to the Star Wars Minute guys.
Hey, Pete and Alex.
We beat this drum all the time. They do a fantastic job. But as always, go check out all the movies by minutes. Movie by minute. God.
Yeah.
Film podcast out there and find something you like, listen to it, support us, let people know about it. In the meantime, go rate them, go share it, do whatever you can to get the word out there, because there are a lot of people doing what we do. I think that's it for Monday.
That was a lot of words.
That was a lot of words, and it's Monday. For Rich and Sean, I'm Todd. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes.
The only good human is a dead human.